So you're at home, you're making food, chopping up a vegetable, and you're about to throw that scrap away, and you're thinking to yourself, oh yeah, I'll just throw that away. No! Throw it in the bag, save it for later, because we're going to be making broth today. Whee! Making veggie broth or stock is one of the most low effort, easy things that you can do, in which the final result is 1000% better than store-bought broth or stock. Not to mention, it's cheaper too. So let's just get into it. So whenever we are cutting up a vegetable, we throw the scraps in a bag and throw that in the freezer. Once we have enough scraps, we take it out and make broth. That simple. Here are the veggie scraps that we think are worth saving. And here are the ones we generally avoid. But feel free to experiment with whatever scraps you have. And you can make as much or as little broth as you want, but we generally try to make a decent sized batch since it takes a while to make. In a big stock pot, throw in all your scraps. You have the option to saute these if you want for extra flavor, but totally fine if you just cover them with water from here. Pour in enough water to cover the vegetables about ½ inch. You will see quite a bit of this floating to the top, but that's totally fine. And at this point you can add additional flavorings or seasonings if you want to make broth, or keep them out if you want to make stock. Broth has more flavor while stock has less flavor, but still provides body when making dishes. Totally up to you. Stock can be more flexible, but broth is fun to experiment with the different flavors. So today we're going to be using miso, bay leaves, and thyme. So bring this all to a boil and then reduce the heat to low and let simmer all day. We recommend at least 4 hours, but the longer the better. So this looks really good. You're really looking for kind of like a deep color. So now we will grab as many big chunks of vegetables and just put them in a strainer and let all that broth drain out. The bottom of the strainer is kind of touching the liquid, so we're gonna move the strainer to another bowl so it can just continue to drip. Look how much broth came out of that. So while the big chunks are dripping away, we can pour the rest into another container. Repeat this as much as you need. Push out the rest of the broth from the vegetables, and we like to use a glass. Alright, so these mason jars are 3 cups, so we're gonna fill it up to exactly this line, and that way when we take it out, we know exactly how much broth we're using. Plus, when we freeze it, we do want to give it some headway so it doesn't crack and explode in the freezer. We typically do mason jars and throw them in the freezer for later and defrost them the day before we want to use them, or for smaller portions, you can use an ice cube tray. Let them freeze and pop those out for later. We made about 21 cups here, plus the extra that we have in the ice cube tray. But as you can tell, it's very hands-off. Just throw everything into a pot, cover some water, and call it a day. And it's just a great way to use what would otherwise be trash. So you can put them in the freezer, or you can put some in your fridge. This should be good for about a week. Can use this in so many different dishes. I've used it in risotto, udon noodle soup, the brown sauce for my ramen stir fry, bolognese, the list goes on and on. Anyway, give it a shot. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you want to see next. Comment down below what you will use your homemade veggie broth for. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Yeah.